family, friends, and loved ones out there. I hope everyone's doing great. Today is a Saturday, and it is a new moon in Taurus. Yes, Taurus is at the 25 degree, and we're going to jump right into today's topic, and that's talking about the rest of May and getting ready to transform this high energy into some speed. And when we get into some speed, then we can get it directed to move towards that power that we're going to reclaim in these next 2 weeks. With that said, I would like to welcome everyone to today's show. And we're going to jump right into it talking about money because Taurus represents money. And so May started out with a lot of money making ideas, right? We had a lot of ideas that we could turn into currency, generate more income. Well, now that we're midpoint of the month, going into the last half of the month, this money has came to reveal itself in ways that you can receive it, right? These ideas have turned into ways to take action to accumulating the money that you're setting out to get. This new moon is also going to talk about self worth, and it's a lot of things that's layered on on the top of the self worth that you're going to be defining for yourself this month. And one of the layers are your values. What do you value? Because what you value will show some reflection of the self worth that you have for yourself. It's also going to regard your finances. How are your finances looking? You know, Taurus season is about the home, money of that sort, security. So you're going to be looking at your finances and see you how those things align, and make sure that you not only have more than enough to get through these times or the rest of the month, but that you are valuing what you have, right? Appreciative, being appreciative. Um, the body, the health is going to be a major concern for this new moon. So a lot of us will be focusing on what we eat, or exercising. Um, what I say is um, do something to the body or for your health that takes you out of that comfort zone, right? Because when we're comfortable, we're thinking we're doing our body some good by having it in the settings of comfort, but sometimes it's hurting the body, and it's hurting our health. So when it concerns the body and your health, do something that's out of your comfort zone, because that's going to get you moving towards the direction your body and your health wants you to be in. This new move is also going to bring attention around the home. We're going to be looking for more security that could be around our home, or just the security we have amongst the individuals in our house. Because Taurus also deals with long term commitments. So that goes back into the home, and that goes back into your relationships that you have. And we'll talk about this particular energy and time going along with this new moon, and what it brings. But right now, in this season or in the cycle, long term commitments will be on your mind. And with these long term commitments that you'll be thinking about, it's because um, the energy is moving at it's high, and it's moving at a fast pace, right? But Taurus is going to allow you to slow that energy down, so you see that well, you get to see the reason why you need to build something real during this time. I say you need to build something real during this time is because of the decision making that we're going to be taking. And the decision making that you're going to be doing is going to be planting roots and making more durable decisions going into this cycle, right? And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge for you because this high energy and this slow momentum that you're building is going to need uh, seeds to grow from, and it's going to also need you to make decisions that's going to last and that's going to be sustainable, right? So, one of the aspects that's going to be around this new moon will be the sun conjuncts um, Mercury's. And when the sun conjuncts Mercury's, we get more clarity. We receive important news, and we also make final decisions on what we want. Can we finally know what we want now? A lot of other astrologers, we are calling this time the download, right? Because the mental fog is being cleared fast. And that's because the sun is conjuncting Mercury. Yes. And so just know that this reset or this restart is dealing with the values, the finances, the relationship. And we have to decide to choose peace over chaos. And I say we choose peace over chaos because um, we are recommitting to what actually sustains us. And if we are recommitting to what actually sustains us, we don't want to commit to some reckless energy, right? And that's why we're going to be very aware of the decisions we make in this present moment, right? We're not in a rush. We're definitely not in a rush. And in this decision making that we'll be doing in the next 2 weeks, this new moon will bring the optimism about it. It will also bring some emotional healing, right? Opportunities involving the home and the family. So this is going to allow us to receive the peace we need around us so we can stay out of the chaotic environments that's going to be around this world. And having good conversations and networking will be the key for you in these next 2 weeks. So we already talked about communication and how this high energy is going to continue to move us forward, and we'll move forward by our communication and how well we can communicate, right? Um, Another aspect to look at coming up after the new moon is the moon conjuncts Uranus. And Uranus has shifted uh, into a new house, a new sign. Well, it might have not shifted into a new house for you, but it definitely shifted into a new sign for all of us. And sudden changes, breakups, breakthroughs, unexpected messages, wanting to be free from your routines that you've been doing for years. All these things are going to be highlighted because Taurus usually wants to keep stability, but Uranus is here to shake it up, especially those things that's been very um, at stall or in a place where no movement, right? And then here comes the moon trines Pluto. And as the moon trines Pluto later on in the week, now we'll see the releasing of old attachments, right? We'll start shedding some of this old energy we have. And in the process of shedding this old energy, we'll be reclaiming power by doing so. And by the end of the month, we should have some deeper intimacies in our relationships because we start to think about the long-term commitments, right? And then we also will start thinking about strategies on how to have that long-term commitment be a process of rebuilding, right? We want to rebuild our relationships. We want to rebuild our communities. And that's the time that we're in. And by the end of the month, we're going to have a lot of in-depth and serious ideas about how to do that. So yes, stay focused, stay open to the opportunities to working with others, right? Because that opportunity is going to come. It might be coworkers, friends, loved ones, um, people that you haven't met yet, right? Okay, and so then right after the new moon, we're gonna have a big shift when Mercury enters into Gemini. So yes, when Mercury's enter into Gemini on the 17th, the mental energy speeds up dramatically. And that's where we have to remain balanced in a way where we don't let this speed take us in a direction that we are not aware of and not prepared for, right? We definitely have to watch our communication because we are going to be more social and curious about things. But this is once Mercury hits into Gemini. Now you're going to see the parties, the networking, the mixers, all these things are going to pop up, and you're going to want to actually be involved in this energy so that you can benefit with your communication skills and with your networking skills to see what you can build going down the line. And this is going to be a time where you're going to be studying, writing, and making travel plans because Mercury is about rapid movement, but sometimes it's not always at that particular moment. It might be preparing to do so. So that's why you're writing the travel plans, the studying is something that might come in the next few days, right? Because then on May 18th, right after Mercury's moved into Gemini, Mars enters into Taurus. So we have these planets shifting into new signs, which indicates that we have to be aware of what our consciousness needs to be aware of and tuned into. I say tuned into because each frequency that we tune into more will allow us to gain the momentum or will take us further away from the momentum and lead towards the chaos that stands around us. So Mars is in Taurus. This is also a time where we're still dealing with the stubbornness of a people, of ourselves. Um, but one thing that's happening, we're staying persistent, right? And we are going to see a slow but unstoppable momentum growing in these next 2 weeks. And so it's a good time to focus not only on your money, but your body and your physical health because Mars will allow you to take steps towards these areas in life. Um, it might be slow steps, but these steps will gain momentum for you. So, not only will we be able to walk into this momentum, we have to understand the off tones, right, of the energy. And I say the off tones because the tone that's being set with the new moon and with the planets Mars and Mercury shifting, there's an off tone that gives off to that energy, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. And that's going to be the frustration that we have with the changes or with the pace of life that we're going to be in. Some things might be moving too fast, some things might not be moving at all. Well, it might bring frustration into our mental state of being, right? So we have to watch out for that. I say when we are finding ourselves frustrated, we need to fall back and do some breathing. And I say breathing because breathing allows us to release in the present moment. And the thing about frustration is something that can be removed in the present moment. It doesn't have to linger on into the next moment. So be very aware of when you're frustrated to see if you can take some time to breathe and come to a calm state of being, right? Because you're going to need that to continue to add on to the momentum that you have and to stay determined on getting things done and not be frustrated that they're not going the way that you would like them to go, right? Um, Passive aggressiveness, that's still dealing with the angry people that is not going in the direction that they want to go. That's going to be for those familiar spirits that see that you are moving ahead and creating space from the pack. And the more space you create from the pack of chaos, the more people will be passive aggressive towards you, right? They're blaming you for things because you're creating distance and space for yourself, and those boundaries are starting to look like stay out of my way or stay out of this area because others are not moving according to the frequency that you are, or others are resisting the change that is happening, not not to realize that the more they resist the change, the more they'll stay left back from the energy that's moving forward. And that's what's going to bring a lot of anger to those people is that they're going to see you moving forward and they're going to begin to be the crabs in the bucket or at least have that mentality which will set off a tone to try to bring you back to a lower level of consciousness where we're all are taking this energy and being able to rise the vibration up at a rapid speed to get this development that we need in this present moment because it's all about the rapid development that we get in the present moment to move forward with, right? So the overall tone for the next 2 weeks is that deep emotional concerns and issues will surface. And when they surface, then this is a time to restart things and recommit yourself to removing those emotional traumas out of your cycle of life or to address them in the present moment, right? We are going to see a slowdown in our movement externally, but making more internal decisions that will move us forward when the time is right. Okay? We'll have sudden realizations about relationships, money, and directions. So at the end of the month, we're going to really have a good grasp on what we're going to be doing to make some money or what we're going to be doing to improve or to remove the relationships and what direction that we're headed. There's a strong urge and feeling that you know what you're going to be building for. And I say, you know what you're going to be building for because these next 2 weeks is going to reveal a lot of things and you're going to have a lot of energy and you should have a plan of action to take. And when you mix all these things in the present moment with the divine timing, you're going to see and manifest things that you've been waiting for. And with that said, I hope everyone have a string of strong days that allow you to carry this momentum closer to the end of the month and get ready to bring in this new heightened energy that we'll be experiencing in June 2026. Everyone out there that's striving for their higher selves, continue to strive high. Know that you are not alone, and we are with you. And we say Rafiki Angus to all our family, friends, and loved ones out there. Until the next time we meet, Ashe.